All right, so listen up. Some nasty phishing scams are aimed at exploiting coronavirus fears. Danny Palmer is here with us from ZDNet to talk a little bit more in depth about this. Unfortunately, Danny, when we're vulnerable at a time like this, things like this can happen.
Yeah, cyber criminals unfortunately love to take advantage of big, unfortunate events like this. We saw it with the fires in Australia, and now we're seeing it with coronavirus, where they are sending phishing emails and conducting cyber attacks in order to take advantage of people's concerns about coronavirus. Cybersecurity researchers at a variety of different companies have uncovered various campaigns where attackers are looking to directly exploit what's going on.
All right, so Danny, talk a little bit more about the types of attacks. I know we said some phishing attacks here. What do they look like? What do they sound like?
Well, a common one that's doing the rounds is a phishing email which pretends to be advice from the World Health Organization about what to do with regards to coronavirus. It's an email which claims to be from a doctor from the World Health Organization saying, no, click this to get some advice. The actual document it uses is legitimate advice about what to do. But if users open the document and follow the instructions to enable macros to enable the content, it drops a banking Trojan onto the system, which is obviously going to be a bad thing, because not only does this Trojan, which is TripBot, steal banking credentials and other personal information, it also ropes the victim's computer into a botnet, so it could be used for other cybercrime in future. This particular campaign has been very sneaky because it is targeting people with Italian email addresses, with Italy being one of the countries majorly affected by this campaign. So it's a very, very sneaky attack. Another example of what's going on is attacks against corporate targets, where organizations are falling victim to, or are attempting, or might be falling victim to, attacks where criminals are sending messages claiming to be from a contractor saying, hey, we're your delivery company, here's what we're going to do around coronavirus. And it's the same sort of thing. If you open the document saying what they purport to be going on, it will introduce malware onto your system. And at a more basic level, there's a lot of more low-level scams doing the rounds, where criminals send spam emails claiming to have a cure for this sort of thing, or asking for money for advice as to what to do, which they obviously don't have. And all that's going to happen if you enter your details is information is going to get stolen. The World Health Organization itself has put out a warning saying, we will never ask for your financial details or ask you to log into weird links. So please don't do that. The organizations which are looking to provide advice on this sort of thing will not be just spamming your emails and saying, open this attachment.
Yeah, and Danny, basic safety measures, of course, that we talk about all the time when it comes to cybersecurity. A lot of it seems, pretty commonplace or common sense type things. But unfortunately, when we are vulnerable and people are trying to consume as much information as possible about this virus, we're just more likely, it seems, to click on things just because we're in a little bit of a panic in general. So what are some of those things to pass on that you want to remind people of?
I suppose a key piece of advice is don't panic. Cyber criminals prey on urgency, be it saying, urgent message from your corporation about coronavirus, or things we've seen at a more personal level with sextortion campaigns. Attackers just want people to click on the document. So if you do get an email like this, the best idea is probably not to click on any attachments, especially if it's unexpected. I mean, a lot of these come in Word documents, but some of these will use things like PDFs and zip files to try and distribute malware. And the latter in particular is not really something that people use to send documents. So just be very, very wary of what you're clicking on. And if you are concerned about what you have been sent, say it pretends to come from, you get an email saying it's from your HR department claiming to be advice on what to do about coronavirus or any other major situation. If you're unsure, ask someone, talk to your HR department and ask is this from you? If it's not, report that to your information security team, so that other people in your organization don't fall victim to this. I mean, it's nothing to be ashamed of falling victim to these campaigns. I mean, if they didn't work, cyber criminals wouldn't be deploying them. It's just that in cases where there's massive amounts of urgency and interest, like the events going around the world at the moment, they're going to be looking to exploit that as much as possible as a means of attack.
Yeah, unfortunately, they certainly are. I think the best advice, that, as you said right off the top, though, is don't panic. Just take a minute here to think about what it is that you're reading and contemplating clicking on. All right, Danny, thanks so much as always. If you want to learn more about how you can protect yourself and Danny's full story, you can find that on ZDNet. Thanks for watching.